Hi, I'm Ari, I'm the Witch, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing meditation. So meditation, it's something which a lot of people in witchcraft practices tend to stress as something which is quite important to do, and unfortunately it actually kind of is. But what is meditation? Something which is, I guess, a little bit difficult to define because it's either really simple or kind of also a bit complex. But Cambridge Dictionary defines meditation as the act of giving your attention to only one thing, either as a religious activity or as a way of becoming calm and relaxed. Which I think is fine, but I think in general when we are defining meditation we tend to use words like being calm or being relaxed or focusing on something, being mindful, stillness or awareness, or just generally being with oneself. It involves that connection of your mind, your body and soul, sort of uniting the three and centering oneself in that sort of triad, I guess. That's what I tend to look at it anyway. But I say it's a rather broad concept because there isn't actually a particular way to meditate. Meditation is a practice, but it involves a lot of different ways in which one can meditate. I think what many people tend to think about when we do look at what meditation is, in mainstream thought, people tend to see it as being in a lotus asana and perhaps chanting the mantra Om. People tend to paint that stereotypical image, and of course if you're doing that, that's fine. Granted, perhaps you're acknowledging the cultural significance of those particular practices and that the asana and the mantra and maybe taught by a verified teacher if possible. But you know, that is one way. That is not the way to meditate. And surprisingly to a lot of people, meditation can actually look really simple. For a lot of people, just going on meditative walks is really helpful to them, and that's completely valid. A lot of people find it quite hard to sort of sit up cross-legged and meditate and prefer doing it lying down, and that's also completely fine. You don't need to do the Om mantra, you can chant whatever you think is appropriate for you, and especially when we're looking at witchcraft practices, it can be really helpful to do this in your spell work. You know, as I mentioned in my last video, when it comes to raising energy and charging objects, chanting a specific word or like a phrase that corresponds with your intention or your will for the spell or ritual can be really great for powering that magic. And obviously doing this in a meditative state, doing it in meditation, is just as valid. So that is one way we can utilize meditation in our spell work and in our practice. Something that I love to do in terms of like the spirit work side of my practice is meditating with a specific plant, or something which I did a lot growing up when I was really obsessed with crystals was, for example, sitting in a meditation stance with a particular crystal and focusing on the crystal and feeling its energies, and correspondences would sort of come to me, and that's what I'd use in my spells. So that's like one way you can connect with that sort of material in your practice in an animistic sense, and that of course utilizes meditation. Something else which is often seen a lot in witchcraft practices is this concept of breath work, like breath exercises, and one which I think a lot of people are familiar with is the 3 or 4 counts. So inhale 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 4, holding it for 4 counts, and then exhaling for 4 counts, and then holding that for 4 counts, and so on, like a cycle. And you can get into that rhythm, and that can be a great meditation as you're focusing on your breath, drawing attention to it. And that's something which is really transformative. Something which I like to do in my practice incorporating this is, instead of doing 1 2 3 4, I do earth, air, fire, water. So I like to use the elements in this sense, and I like to do visualizations along with each as well. So I might start with earth, air, fire, water and do that for a couple cycles, and then just go like earth, 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 and I'll do visualizations of like representations of the element earth, and I'll cycle through the different elements with the different visualizations. And that can be something which I'll just dedicate a portion of my day to doing that, and it can just make me feel really connected to the elements and to my surroundings. So it's things like that which is meditation, focus, and getting into that calm, still state being a part of your witchcraft practice, and it can be really, really helpful. Of course, many people actually study into the origins of meditation as something that came from Eastern traditions, and we can look at, for example, samatha or Vipassana meditations from Buddhism, and we can see how important and significant meditation is a part of that religion and those cultures. So that's definitely something to acknowledge as something which has been a core part of the development of meditation. So on my channel in the past, I recommended to you guys a bunch of meditation apps, but the one I want to focus on today, which I think can really help you guys, is Aura, who have actually really kindly been the sponsor for today's video. Aura is a new mindfulness and sleep app for your phone that actually won the Best of Apple award and is used by over 7 million people. It is an all-in-one app for your well-being and for your sleep, and has thousands of meditations, stories, but also more therapeutic practical exercises, and it's something which I've been using a lot. I really like to use soundscapes in my spirit flight, and Aura is really good for this because they have a whole range of different soundscapes that are really great for this. I really like the calming sea. I really like also using the forest soundscapes. Of course as well, those are perfect for falling asleep, which is something which I've been struggling with lately because I've just been so stressed with doing my driving license, and I'm moving house, and that can keep you up at night thinking about all the things you have to do, and I've been using Aura to help me fall asleep, and it's been such a help. You can get started completely free on Aura's website using the link that is listed here on the video, and it will be down below as well, so you go check that out if you want to. The first 500 people that use the link get a 7-day free trial and then 25% off. So using an app like this is something which can be very useful for your witchcraft practice. And we should move on now to why meditate. Why is it important? Well, I think many people know that it can have numerous benefits on not only just your spiritual well-being, but your mental well-being and your physical well-being. There have been thousands of studies that have researched the importance of meditation and how helpful it can be for specific things, such as if we're looking at physical health benefits, many studies have shown how it can significantly reduce high blood pressure, or it can really help people who suffer with acute or chronic pain, and how it can really help alleviate their suffering and their pain. There have been loads and loads of studies. You can literally just Google it or go to Google Scholar. I'll leave some links down below in the description, of course. Go check those out if you want to read more into that and see the references. But also when we're looking at mental well-being, of course, it's something which is widely researched as something which can really improve depression, anxiety, various mental health conditions and issues. So yeah, loads and loads of scientists and researchers have looked into how meditation can really improve people's lives, and it's something which is quite difficult to measure, but the results have shown significant findings. So it is really, really interesting, and it's something which people have been doing across different cultures for years. I don't know if you guys remember that story in Thailand where those boys got stuck in the cave, and it took quite a few days to find them and to get them out. There was a whole documentary on it, and I was really interested to see that the coach who was with the boys actually studied at a local Buddhist monastery, and he got the boys to practice meditation to help them survive those days, you know, obviously without proper food or water and limited oxygen. It was very, very interesting how they obviously, what an awful situation to be in, and they used meditation to help conserve their energy, and it helped them survive, which is what they say. So I think that's so interesting. So you can really just see from that story alone the power of meditation. So I thought I'd give some quick tips for meditation, as a lot of people find it quite difficult. A lot of people say, oh, you know, I can't meditate, or really struggle with getting sort of used to being still or being sort of calm and with your thoughts, and you'll sort of have these racing thoughts and get really disheartened because you can't sort of get your thoughts to stop. But that is meditation, you know, specifically mindfulness meditation, that concept of focusing and being aware of one's thoughts and not making any judgments. A lot of people, I think, tend to punish themselves for perhaps, you know, losing their way and getting distracted, and obviously then having to pull your mind back into that center, into the focus. People then punish themselves for being distracted, but try not to. It's very hard, but try to just let your mind wander, but bring it back without any judgments. And that in itself is meditating. Just the act of doing that is meditation. So it doesn't matter if you're bad at it, you know, it isn't really about being good or bad at meditating. It's just the act of doing so. And of course, practice makes perfect. If you're doing it in a regular rhythm in your daily life, in your practice, then of course you're going to see results in doing so. But I think that's a tip. Try not to punish yourself, because it's okay if you're not great at it. I'm still not great at it, and I've been doing it for a while now. So this leads on to my second tip, which is try figure out what works best for you, because not everyone is going to be able to meditate the exact same way. So many different ways to meditate, and it's really just about finding what works best for you. Some people really like using an app. Some people really rely on guided meditations, which is completely fine. Some people only do nature walk meditations. Some people like to meditate whilst doing the dishes, you know, so really find out what works best for you, and know that that is just as valid as any other type of meditation. And I guess this leads on to my third tip, which is start small. Don't try and get yourself to practice every single day if you know you're not going to be able to do that. Don't set yourself up for failure, I guess. Start off really simple with something like 5 minutes of a day. If that's all you can do, maybe as soon as you wake up, just before you really get out of bed or before you look at your phone, just take time to just wherever you are, just sit, be still, be aware of your thoughts, and try and meditate for 5 minutes, and then go on with your day. If that is all you can handle once per week, then that is better than doing nothing, right? So really just start off small and figure out, again, like I said before, what works best for you, and you can implement that and then grow that if you so desire as you do it more regularly, as you maybe get better at it, and so on and so on. So you don't have to be perfect straight away, and it isn't really about being perfect anyway. This is your journey, this is your own personal spiritual development, so it really doesn't matter. As long as you're happy with the progress you're making, you're happy with your goals and attaining them, it's your journey, not anyone else's. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't believe we reached 10,000 subscribers. Completely amazing, and it happened on my birthday as well, which was just such a wonderful surprise. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to continue on this journey on this channel and provide you with more and more content. So thank you so much. I thought I'd take the time as well, be a bit cheeky, and remind you that I have a Patreon, and my patrons really help me out. I really appreciate the extra help that people can give if you can. And I just released for my Red Oak patrons a video all about witchcraft books that I don't recommend. And that is exclusive for my second tier patrons. So if that interests you, maybe check out my Patreon page, which is always linked in the description, but I'll also have it in a card if you're interested. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.